Yao Ji. No, it's impossible. Didn't I already devour you? How can you be reborn? Looking at the soul shadow of Yao Ji separating from her own body, her fake Yao Ji, bathed in blood-red ripples, was momentarily stunned and couldn't help but speak out in disbelief. Although she hadn't completely refined Yao Ji at that time, she had indeed devoured her and taken control of her body. Countless reincarnations passed, and Yao Ji remained unharmed? Could it be that Yao Ji merely used her own power as a sanctuary to evade certain extraordinary divine powers? Do you really think that with your strength at the 8th reincarnation stage, you can suppress and refine me? At that time, being devoured by you was simply a last resort. Yao Ji's soul shadow coldly scanned the surroundings, and a terrifying aura, subtle but palpable, swept out. The secrets behind this must be explained from the beginning. There's no point in talking more. Even if you still have a trace of your original power left, you will still fall here today. The second evil god, who controlled Yao Ji's body, sneered. A vast and evil energy began to spread, revealing his uncertainty even as he faced Yao Ji's soul shadow. Indeed, that aura has already disappeared. Yao Ji's soul shadow slowly turned her head, looking at the strange crystalline layers in the sky. After confirming it again, she let out a long sigh of relief. Senior, please protect them. Let me deal with this one. Xiao Yin took a heavy breath and, though uncertain about the current state of Yao Ji's soul shadow, stepped forward first, positioning himself in front of the others. The power radiating from Yao Ji's soul shadow seemed insufficient to resist the second evil god. The spirit of the Xiao clan's descendants remains as courageous as it was in the past. But there's no need for that now. While speaking, Yao Ji's soul shadow smiled faintly. Countless purple flames swept out, completely coloring the sky. It was beautiful, like a sky of purple flames burning through the clouds. But behind that beauty was a terrifying destructive power. Let's see who truly has the upper hand. Looking at the floating Yao Ji's soul shadow, surrounded by an incredibly strong fluctuation, the fake Yao Ji's face showed a slight change. But in the next moment, the fake Yao Ji's body stepped into the air, surrounded by a blood-red evil power and an eerie force resembling witchcraft. These two powers twisted in her jade-like hands, and she struck with a single palm. What seemed like a casual wave actually contained immense power. As she struck, the entire giant hall trembled as if it might collapse at any moment. Faced with such overwhelming pressure, Little E and Mu Yingying's bodies surged with energy as they tried to shield Yao Ji's soul shadow. Witchcraft. However, Yao Ji's soul shadow, looking at the second evil god who had seized her body, chuckled softly. In an instant, an eerie and intense flame surrounded the fake Yao Ji's body, and the divine power contained in it drove a dark shadow out. Black mist billowed, and a cold, bloody spray emerged, causing her body to appear in a state of extreme disarray, as if heavily wounded and incredibly weak. How could this happen? At that moment, the corpse evil god, from within the black mist, showed a look of disbelief. Could this be Yao Ji's true power? Had Yao Ji been devoured by him back then on purpose? Meanwhile, the others, who had been worried about Yao Ji's soul shadow, now gasped in astonishment. With just one strike, Yao Ji's soul shadow had forced the second evil god, at the 8th reincarnation stage, out of her body and left him in such a miserable state? Such power was terrifying. Corpse evil god, it's over. Yao Ji's soul shadow trembled and instantly returned to her body, then silently gazed at the black mist of the second evil god, gently shaking her head. Yao Ji, if you want to annihilate me, I will not let you off easily. In the black mist, the corpse evil god laughed savagely, seemingly hinting at some kind of self-detonation. Yet he was confused. Why was Yao Ji so weak when she entered the demon-suppressing prison, but now so powerful? What was the truth behind this? Corpse evil god, surrender now. After a brief exchange, the corpse evil god was clearly at a disadvantage. Xiao Yin and the others instantly surrounded him. If they could capture the second most powerful entity of the extraterritorial evil clan, they might obtain valuable information for the Great Thousand Worlds. Even if I am reduced to nothing, I will never let you succeed." The weakening figure in the black mist trembled, as if swelling up, and a sharp shriek filled the air. The corpse evil god controlled Yao Ji's body with the main purpose of escaping the demon-suppressing prison and returning to the outer realms. However, the forces within this demon-suppressing prison were too profound. Even though he had taken control of Yao Ji's body, he couldn't fully absorb her essence, leaving behind hidden dangers. Now, he only hoped to use the blood of Xiao and his companions to nourish his power and break free from this world. But all that awaited him was the path of destruction. Sacred flame, purify, seal. Facing the desperate counterattack from the corpse evil god, Xiao and his companions merely exchanged a glance. Dozens of sacred flames erupted, forming an ancient and magnificent circle of fire barriers, trying to purify and imprison this evil god. The might of the sacred flames was enough to destroy heaven and earth, not giving the evil god a single moment to resist before his entire body was confined. Corpse blood talisman, explosion. Demon crossing the other shore. Great will, I sacrifice my power to you. Descend upon this world and annihilate everything. A thunderous roar from the corpse evil god erupted from his mouth. Then, countless powers shot forth, slowly constructing an extremely evil passage in the sky. Under the influence of this power, the countless sacred flames, divine artifacts, and more within Xiao and his companions began to hum. This is bad. Seeing this, Xiao sharply sensed a terrifying evil force that did not belong to this world, as though something was lurking, with ripples far beyond the power of the corpse evil god. Boom! At the same time, the power around Yao Ji surged again, forcing back the numerous evil auras that had occupied her body. Instead, a delicate and ethereal energy filled her being. At this moment, Yao Ji was not in a hurry. She calmly waved her arm, stirring the pool of water in front of her, as if calling forth something of her own, quietly waiting for the aura from the evil passage to descend. Master, Your Majesty. Seeing this scene, Xiao and Yingying were filled with an eerie sense of dread, as if a far more terrifying being was using the power of the corpse evil god to cross over to this world. From the abyss formed by the countless evil origins of the corpse evil god, it seemed as though an overwhelming presence, stepping above all living beings, was slowly breaking through the void, crossing over from afar. Master, what is this? Endless fear spread from the abyss, a fear that came from the depths of the soul, uncontrollably filling Xiaoyi's heart. This power was too strong, so strong that it made her mind buzz with confusion, unable to summon even a trace of resistance. The corpse evil god is willing to sacrifice his entire life force to forcibly summon the true king from the outer evil clan, seemingly trying to wipe us all out. Yao Ji's ethereal power rose, but she did not act rashly, instead calmly waiting. The kings from the outer evil clan, aren't they the so-called 7 evil gods? Yingying, who was beside her, raised her head slightly, her exquisite face filled with confusion. Though the 7 evil gods are rare existences within the outer evil clan, their strength is nothing in the eyes of those beings. After all, the origins of the evil gods come from the 17 sacred clans of the outer realms. Yao Ji spoke softly, clearly a piece of information only someone at the top of the pyramid, like her, could know. What are the sacred clans? Xiao Yan's eyes glinted with a hint of madness. The sacred clans. The 17 sacred clans are the core of the outer evil clan. Their power is enough to rival and even surpass the peak forces of the Great Thousand Worlds. That is the true strength and foundation of the outer evil clan. Yao Ji explained. Senior, Hearing this heavy voice, Yingying suddenly whispered softly next to Yao Ji, murmuring as if she were speaking something. You little girl, you have plenty of tricks up your sleeve. At this moment, it seemed that Yao Ji and Yingying had reached some unspoken agreement. As her voice faded, the endless abyss in the demon-suppressing prison trembled. Transparent black energy tides surged outward, and within them, an insurmountable evil chasm lurked. Atop this chasm stood a true figure of a myriad evil demon shadow, with endless demonic energy sweeping across the world, causing the entire demon-suppressing prison to teeter, nearly on the brink of collapse. Master! Master! He's here! Xiao Yi's expression was filled with terror and unease as the reincarnation seal on her forehead trembled violently, as if it were on the verge of shattering. Even Xiao Yin, whose power radiated brilliantly beside her, was struck with horror when he laid eyes on the figure. This being's strength was certainly above that of the Demon Emperor, Thunderlord, and other powerful beings. He was most likely one of the true core members of the Outer Evil clan. Yao Ji, you're not dead? A massive black demonic figure stood on the bridge of the other shore in the sky. A voice of doubt rang out, followed by a pair of enormous, dark eyes that locked onto her, with an overwhelming and earth-shattering aura emanating from them. Yao Ji stepped forward, her radiant purple energy expanding like a tidal wave, instantly forming countless divine forces. The momentum of the two was so evenly matched that they seemed to be on equal footing. At this moment, you no longer possess the power to protect these three. I can let you take two of them. It's your choice. The evil shadow sneered and then, with a mocking tone, gazed at the four below. As his voice fell, the ripples in the pool grew louder, as if something was about to surge forth. Girl, it's your turn. Seeing the impending catastrophe, a faint smile appeared on Yao Ji's elegant face, and she turned her gaze to Yingying. The object in the pool indeed contained a light, ethereal aura, a divine artifact. However, such things were not easily obtainable by ordinary people. Yingying's earlier words had clearly carried a tone of urgency. At that moment, Yingying's eyes were filled with calm. Her jade foot gently moved through the air, and a feeble, firefly-like aura slowly rose. To obtain enough power, one must pay the corresponding price. Senior, I hope you keep your word. Your Excellency, please. Yingying's eyes were steadfast, and 5 sacred flames rose around her, gathering and merging in front of her to form a fire lotus seed the size of a dragon's eye. What are you doing? Stop right now. In that moment, Xiao Yan's body began to extinguish in sacred flames, and an overwhelming, evil afterglow burst forth without reservation. Yingying's self-ignition was a clear act of spontaneous combustion. What kind of deal had she made with Yao Ji? Master, you. Watching this, Xiao Yi's eyes turned red, and a murderous aura surged within him. He couldn't believe that this powerful being would sacrifice another life for their safety. But now, Yao Ji's actions made Xiao Yi waver slightly. Xiao Yi was naturally aware of Yingying's situation. If their lives required a woman's sacrifice, what was the point of surviving in a broken, fleeting existence? Rip. In the face of Xiao Yin and Xiao Yi's dire situation, Yao Ji casually waved her hand. The divine force instantly trapped both of them, sealing even the demonic power within Xiao Yan's body. Now, the two were like mere mortals, with their eyes bulging as uncontrollable agony spread through them. Yingying's self-ignition continued. Her body, soul, and even her blood were slowly dissolving. Of course, I keep my word. If no one is willing to die, then we will all fall together. The monstrous evil shadow on the bridge of the other shore sneered, its greedy presence intensifying. Using the second evil god's life as a reason to guide itself here, it would certainly collect some interest. Sacred Flame Radiance. 5 sacred flames, burning decree, second stage. Despite the terrifying attack generated by Yingying's self-sacrifice, it appeared weak and ineffective in the eyes of the extraterritorial evil shadow. But Xiao Yin knew better. This girl, who had once appeared mischievous and playful, had put in immense effort after entering the boundless fire domain. The fusion of the 5 sacred flames, without any aid from medicinal pills, involved a grueling process of solitary meditation and consumption. The torment she endured was no less severe than what he had faced. What's the point of all this effort? No matter how much you train, you'll never cross the gulf between you and this power. Use your blood to honor this place. Rip. The evil shadow swung its hand, releasing countless evil forces that tore through the heavens and earth, shattering everything in its path, heading toward Mu Yingying's delicate form. The sound, devoid of emotion, reverberated throughout every corner of the world. "Ha, Yao Ji, sorry, but this person must be saved." Xiao Yan's skin was covered in a demonic aura that slowly began to break through Yao Ji's restraints. It erupted like a dormant volcano, a towering evil force, as if a true demon had manifested. "Haha, second brother, I'll join you." "Senior, forget the reincarnation seal." Upon seeing this, Xiao Yi laughed loudly, his eyes filled with hatred and murderous intent. He swung his hand in an attempt to tear off the reincarnation seal on his forehead. If Xiao Yi tore apart the reincarnation seal voluntarily, not only would he suffer fatal injuries, but Yao Ji would also experience a backlash. These troublesome fools. Yao Ji sighed softly upon seeing their reckless behavior. Hadn't she told them the secret? She had just quietly whispered in her ear, clearly trying to see if she could control this artifact. This was what led to the desperate, almost self-igniting actions just now. After all, to absorb the artifact ranked 9th in the human realm, one must use one's own light and agile aura as a guide, drawing it into the body to attempt the process. This is the mysterious art behind Yao Ji's control over the artifact. The artifact in her hand is the heart-soothing sacred sound zither, the 9th-ranked artifact in the human realm of the Great Thousand Worlds. Similar to the demon lute from the demon realm, but the power it contains is on a completely different scale. Although Yao Ji didn't fully understand Xiao Yin and the others' actions, her profound abilities ensured she wouldn't let them do anything foolish. The continuous flow of power instantly suppressed them. Having completed these actions, the disturbances in the pool before them grew even stronger. The towering crimson demonic energy was completely purified, and the water columns surged wildly, as though some divine entity had murmured and responded to the call from the thin figure in the sky. Surging out completely, countless beautiful patterns were etched into the zither's body, and a captivating melody slowly began to unfold. Fall. A tremendous evil force slowly coiled around Mu Yingying, and an overwhelming, earth-shattering evil energy swiftly devoured her vitality. However, in the midst of this near-destroyed situation, Mu Yingying's forehead barely twitched, as if trying to signal Xiao Yin and the others to stop. Heart-soothing zither, holy transformation. As her soft voice fell, a brilliant halo erupted from the pool, transforming into a supreme radiance that enveloped Mu Yingying's delicate form. Under this holy light, the evil energy suddenly dissipated. Even Mu Yingying, who had nearly perished, was slowly undergoing some form of transformation. It seemed her actions were meant to draw out this radiance. What exactly lay within the radiance, Xiao Yin did not know, but the holy spiritual aura that filled it made his sacred flame within him feel at ease and joyous. A human realm artifact? The speed was so fast that even Xiao Yin didn't have time to identify what it was. However, the god-slaying ruler within him began to subtly resonate. The holy radiance completely enveloped Mu Yingying's body, and a transformation, or perhaps sublimation, was taking place slowly. With the evil attack blocked, the evil figure in the sky could not help but let out a cold snort. Foolish. For the sake of a mere ant, you would give up your own artifact. Very well, today I will annihilate you all here. As it spoke, the surrounding evil aura surged, and a far greater force began to emerge. This girl's light, holy aura is rare even in the Great Thousand Worlds. Today, I shall grant her a great fate. Upon hearing Yao Ji's words, Xiao Yin and Little Yi's frantic movements inside their bodies slowly calmed down, their expressions growing somewhat strange. Holy Demon King, you are right. My current strength is indeed not enough to protect the three of them, but I am the Holy Mother. How could I be unprepared? Facing the towering evil figure in the sky, Yao Ji's voice grew cold, and she sneered. Impossible. The Holy King was surrounded by our extraterritorial evil clan and almost perished. How could he possibly have the strength to protect you? Upon hearing the words Holy King, the evil figure let out a terrified gasp. Its usually calm and sinister voice became disordered, as if some terrifying memory from its past was slowly resurfacing. God-slaying ruler, return? Reincarnation seal, return? Yao Ji's figure slowly rose, and without caring for the figure's howls, she coldly snorted. Two towering shadows immediately erupted from Xiao and Little Yi's bodies, forming an ancient heavenly shackles that hovered in the air, silently guarding Yao Ji. Haha, holy demon king, are you so bold as to lay your hands on the one I protect? Yao Ji's voice grew loud, and with the reincarnation seal, her strength neared the peak of the 9th reincarnation stage. With the power of the god-slaying ruler, her combat strength soared to new heights. The god-slaying ruler? As the god-slaying ruler, glowing with endless divine flames, slowly rotated before her, each turn carrying an overwhelming force that caused the evil figure to lose focus. No matter what form the god-slaying ruler took, it remained an omen of doom in his mind. It was his personal nightmare. Yao Ji, don't forget how disastrous the great war of heaven and earth was for your great thousand world. As the reincarnation seal and the god-slaying ruler surged together, purple flames created a mysterious ripple. The god-slaying ruler spun rapidly, and a supreme divine power that could destroy the heavens and earth quietly approached. Do not worry, next time we meet, it will be your extraterritorial evil clan's funeral day. Yao Ji's voice remained calm. The fusion of the reincarnation seal was growing perfect, and the god-slaying ruler in her hand had reached the peak of its power. With a single strike, the heavens and earth would be destroyed. Ha ha ha. Then I must see for myself. A cold snort, carrying a hint of oppression, echoed through the air. Immediately, the figure of the evil shadow hesitated no longer and slowly disappeared, returning to the outer realms. Even though this descent had been made possible by the life sacrifice of the second evil god, Yao Ji, holding the god-slaying ruler, even someone as powerful as him had little confidence in overcoming the situation. God-slaying strike. Even though the latter moved swiftly, just as he retreated, Yao Ji's cold voice rang out. With a flick of her jade hand, the god-slaying ruler swung lightly, causing the entire world to shrink slightly. In an instant, the demon abyss completely sealed, and the entire world rippled. Even the purple crystal layer that enveloped the demon-suppressing prison showed a visible crack. That seemingly casual strike carried such force that it surpassed even the strongest strike Xiao could muster. As the sound faded, Little Yi's legs went weak, and she directly sat down cross-legged in midair. The pressure from the recent fluctuations felt as if it had reached the pinnacle of this world. Without Xiao and Yao Ji's protection, she would have been unable to withstand it. As for Yingying, her delicate body was enveloped by a dense, impenetrable holy power, seemingly undergoing some kind of fusion or transformation. All right. The current crisis has been resolved. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, as a reward for coming to rescue me. With the situation fully resolved, the god-slaying ruler and reincarnation seal returned to Xiao and Yao Ji's bodies. Yao Ji, however, stretched her slender figure and gave a slight glance at Yingying, who was still in seclusion, absorbing the divine artifacts. Then, she gracefully stretched, showing no hint of arrogance. Master, we greet Senior Yao Ji. With the crisis over, all the evil energies in the demon-suppressing prison vanished, replaced by soft, warm purple light halos. Xiao and Little Yi stood dazed for a moment, then Xiao grinned. Their earlier actions had indeed been a misunderstanding of Yao Ji. Senior Yao Ji, about earlier. Xiao spoke, a trace of shame flashing across his heart. It's fine. Yao Ji's expression remained calm, as if she hadn't given it a second thought. Who exactly was the one who descended just now? The small misunderstanding was cleared up, but Xiao still had many lingering questions. The true powerhouse from the outer realms, the holy demon king. Yao Ji spoke softly, as if reminiscing, recounting a long-buried past. During the first heavenly battle, the fighting strength of the great thousand worlds and the outer evil clans were almost evenly matched. The outer evil clans secretly launched many ambushes against us to exploit the peak forces of the Great Thousand. He received orders from the leader of the outer realms and led an army to ambush the Dragon Clan, only to be nearly destroyed by the Golden Dragon King and the Holy King, who had come to aid the Xiao clan. That time, with just one strike, the Holy King nearly wiped him out entirely. The Holy Demon King's power back then was almost at the threshold of the 9th reincarnation stage. Now, he's likely crossed into the 9th reincarnation stage. Yao Ji recalled, but when she spoke of the Holy King, even this powerful being, who exuded an air of nobility, couldn't help but show a hint of respect. She was not only the Holy King's wife, but also his admirer. The Holy King's strength and deeds, even across the entire world, would be revered as legendary by countless people. That's strong? Hearing Yao Ji's understated words, Little Yi's expression slightly changed. The 9th reincarnation stage was the pinnacle of this world. Such an existence could probably crush an entire world with a simple wave of their hand. With their divine power, how could mortals possibly resist? The situation earlier was actually quite grim. Although I temporarily withdrew the reincarnation seal, aligning my own strength perfectly, my power at the quasi-9th reincarnation stage is still insufficient to face the Holy Demon King. Yao Ji's enchanting eyes shimmered with a hint of cold light as she looked at Xiao. Master, with your quasi-9th reincarnation stage strength and the second-ranked god-slaying ruler, you still can't defeat the Holy Demon King? Little Yi couldn't help but feel a bit dejected. The god-slaying ruler was not in its full form. If the Holy Demon King hadn't been startled by Senior Yao Ji's attack earlier, today would likely have led to a real battle. Xiao nodded lightly, clearly understanding the reason behind Yao Ji's actions. As for this girl, with the sacred flame transformation and the ethereal energy she possesses, as the devourer of souls said, only my weapon is suitable for her. That scene earlier was just to call upon the divine artifact. Yao Ji shook her head, thoroughly explaining the matter. Thank you, Senior. But may I ask, what is your current strength? Xiao asked with a light smile. My strength, thanks to the help of the three-headed divine flood dragon, had once reached the peak of the 8th reincarnation stage, just a step away from the 9th. Over these long years, I've slowly touched the threshold of the quasi-9th reincarnation stage. Are you wondering why I would humble myself in the dark, sacred abyss? Yao Ji looked at Xiao with great interest. Please enlighten me, Senior. Xiao said respectfully. When the divine war had just ended, I separated from the Holy King. He was tasked with guarding the injured members of the Xiao clan, allowing them to recover, while I returned to the Fire Sprite clan and other places to eliminate the remnants of evil forces left in the Great Thousand Worlds. However, on my way back, I was attacked by a mysterious figure. With no other choice, I had to flee into the dark sacred abyss to avoid being hunted. The power of that person was strange. His aura seemed weak, just at the early stages of reincarnation. Yet, none of my attacks had any effect on him. Instead, there was an eerie force on him that stripped me of my witchcraft and vitality. Yao Ji recalled, her voice carrying a trace of lingering unease. Was it someone from the extraterritorial evil clan? Xiao asked, his heart slightly shaking. No. His aura seemed to belong to a being from the Great Thousand Worlds. I could feel that his goal was to steal my power. Fortunately, witchcraft is profound, and I cleverly avoided him using a substitute. However, the war had just ended, and I was gravely wounded. Just as I fell into the second demon prison, the second evil god devoured me, which allowed me to escape the mysterious figure's pursuit. Over the years, the second evil god tried several times to consume my essence, but to no avail. If it weren't for his fear of that mysterious person, the second evil god wouldn't have been able to suppress me for this long. Later on, I used the quasi-divine level combat technique, Myriad Phenomena, Heavenly Splendor, to imprison the demon-suppressing prison completely. With my weakened power, the demon-suppressing prison here was also remodeled by the second evil god. He planned to use my body to absorb your powers, breaking the sealing force and escaping. Yao Ji continued explaining tirelessly, and soon many of Xiao lingering doubts began to dissolve. Yet, the mysterious figure still left Xiao uneasy, as though this person was an unknown threat. Once we return, we'll investigate this matter. Senior Yao Ji, do you know the whereabouts of the Holy King? Xiao asked gravely, nodding. According to the instructions when we parted, they should be in the netherworld realm. The matters of the netherworld are too significant. The Holy King didn't say much, but I vaguely remember that the netherworld seems to have deep ties with your Xiao clan. The appearance of the netherworld seems to involve your Xiao clan. Its purpose might be to deal with the angel kingdom, the center of the human realm, or that mysterious figure. Yao Ji pondered for a moment before speaking. Senior Yao Ji has given Yingying such a great gift, so I must return the favor. Would a Saint Rank 9 heavenly grade pill suffice? After a round of inquiries and explanations, most of Xiao Yan's questions had been answered, and he finally broke into a brilliant smile. You young lad are thoughtful, but you don't know. At the 9th reincarnation stage, you can no longer rely on swallowing pills to advance, because this stage transcends the world itself. So there's this hidden rule? Of course, a Saint Rank 9 pill won't work, but that doesn't mean a divine pill won't. In the endless cycles of the great thousand worlds, there have been dozens of extraordinary geniuses capable of crafting Saint Rank 9 pills, yet no one has ever coveted the divine pills hidden within that transmission. Gods cannot be desecrated. Since that's the case, let's go. The Second Divine War has already begun, and I fear many matters will require your assistance, Senior. With Yao Ji's words, Xiao Yan's so-called trip to the demon-suppressing prison was officially concluded. Is it really over like this? There is still an opportunity here that could help you reach the 8th reincarnation stage. Upon hearing this, Yao Ji let out a gentle smile, tinged with a hint of regret. Inside the demon-suppressing prison, there was a quiet stillness. At this moment, Yao Ji's gaze was filled with a rare sense of joy. She extended her hand and collected the glowing sphere enveloping Mu Yingying, clearly fond of her. After all, in some ways, both Mu Yingying and Yao Ji herself were formed from the ethereal, divine powers of the heavens, and the resonance between them easily fostered goodwill. As for when Mu Yingying had asked for a divine artifact, Yao Ji had not hesitated. Little E had already inherited the demon loot, so he naturally could not inherit her artifact. Senior, the path to the 8th reincarnation stage is unavoidable. Please guide me. Soon, I will join you in heading to the netherworld to rescue them and restore the glory of our Xiao clan. Xiao Yan smiled slightly, his face full of joy, but Yao Ji could sense that beneath this joy lay an undercurrent of impending danger. Xiao Yan knew very well that during this trip to the demon-suppressing prison, he hadn't used much of his power, yet he had still obtained such immense opportunities. Moving forward, he would naturally spare no effort in assisting Yao Ji and the others to reach their peak strength. Your bloodline is indeed commendable, but the 8th reincarnation stage is not a level that can be compared to ordinary ones, not to mention the powers within you, flame mantra, demonic forces, and so on. The road to your 8th reincarnation stage will be even more perilous, but if you succeed in overcoming the tribulation, your strength will likely be near invincible below the 9th reincarnation stage. As for this trip to the demon-suppressing prison, the reason I didn't let you act was because you need to conserve your strength. After all, the power of the demons is shrouded in mystery. Even if you look across the entire outer realms, only a few know about it. It might eventually become a real trump card, so it's not yet time to expose it, Yao Ji explained. As you say, Senior, Xiao Yan and Little E both nodded quietly, waiting patiently for further guidance. Why are you standing there? You should take this opportunity to comprehend my reincarnation. The strength of my reincarnator is so weak that it would be embarrassing to speak of, Yao Ji chided. Understood, understood. Little E immediately shut his mouth. The reincarnation seal on his forehead had been personally guided by Yao Ji, so his understanding was progressing very quickly. Even the power of the reincarnation stage would likely surge in a very short time. After all, that was the advantage of the reincarnation seal. Calm your mind, close your eyes. Your opportunity lies within this demon-suppressing prison. As Yao Ji spoke, strange and unique patterns began to rise around her body, seemingly calling forth the powerful forces of heaven and earth within this realm. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan's gaze flickered with excitement. He solemnly bowed to Yao Ji, then followed her instructions. If he could truly step into the 8th reincarnation stage, with the aid of his sacred flame, God-slaying ruler, and demonic powers, his combat strength would be almost comparable to that of someone barely reaching the 9th reincarnation stage. At that point, he could truly rank among the peak powers of the Great Thousand Worlds, and even those forces secretly dissatisfied with the Endless Flame Alliance would be forced to silence themselves. Moreover, he could begin to plan his journey to the Netherworld realm. Witchcraft, break apart. As Yao Ji's soft voice fell, the layers of witchcraft power around the demon-suppressing prison began to peel away. Hidden within were countless divine and evil forces. Though these forces were fleeting, under Yao Ji's extraordinary abilities, they were transformed into pure energy. Xiao, already prepared, felt the space within the demon-suppressing prison tremble. Terrifying forces that sent chills down his spine descended from the sky. While Xiao meditated with his eyes closed, an invisible wave descended from the sky, then spread out from him as its center. As it approached, more and more invisible waves transformed into dazzling points of light, falling from the crystal layers and pouring into Xiao's body. Countless light points gradually calmed the atmosphere of heaven and earth. In the end, they surrounded Xiao, forming a massive light cocoon. Inside, what awaited him was far from simple. The situation of the Great Thousand Worlds has actually turned out like this. Yao Ji, floating in the demon-suppressing prison, sensed the changes in the external situation that little he had previously left behind. The Xiao clan's destruction, the disappearance of the Guardian race, and other news related to the Great Thousand Worlds. What exactly is the center of the human realm planning? And the Angel Kingdom? Could it be that the fall of the Xiao clan was truly due to their failure to rescue them? The solitary beauty's shadow floated in the void, her light and airy voice filled with a wave of unsettling energy. Clearly, Yao Ji was also recovering her strength, advancing toward the quasi-9th reincarnation stage. Inside the light cocoon, countless light points adorned the space, eventually pulling Xiao's soul and body into an endless void. It felt like a chaotic sacred land, resembling the world in its earliest, most primitive form, before the heavens and earth were fully formed. Here, all of Xiao's divine abilities seemed to be momentarily ineffective. Only faint, obscure ripples of power in the void called out, guiding him on his path. How could he step into the 8th reincarnation stage? How could he leave this place? No one told Xiao. It seemed that from now on, everything would depend on him. He wandered aimlessly, the concept of time becoming vague. Xiao even began to wonder if this was truly the path to the 8th reincarnation stage. He had no idea how long it had been when an endless sea of pure white appeared before his eyes. This ocean was like an energy sea formed from divine power, filled with boundless vitality and mystery. Xiao's pitch-black eyes suddenly ignited with a scorching feeling, as if he could sense, deep within, that as long as he devoured this sea of energy, stepping into the 8th reincarnation stage would be a natural consequence. I need your power, Xiao muttered to himself, his body suddenly dashing through the energy sea. Boom! In an instant, the god-slaying ruler, dragon god transformation, flame mantra, and other core items slowly circled around the center of the energy sea. At the heart of these core items, a glowing orb seemed to pulse. The orb surged, and upon Xiao's arrival, it abruptly transformed into a blood-red heart the size of a palm. The blood-red heart seemed to be the very thing Xiao had been lacking. As soon as it appeared, it began to slowly fuse with him. His body, soul, even his bones, were all nourished by this pure heart, and an indescribable comfort filled him. Even the shackles that had long hindered Xiao from stepping into the true 8th reincarnation stage were, at this moment, broken without a fight. In an instant, the winds and clouds shifted. The entire chaotic realm became restless, and vast thunder tribulations capable of tearing the heavens and earth apart descended from the sky. The 8th reincarnation tribulation. However, even with the 8th reincarnation tribulation, under Xiao's overwhelming methods, it would likely just be a matter of time